Chapter 26, The Cycle. Adrian's ears still rang as the matrix explosion echoes faded. The chamber looked like a war zone. Twisted metal conduits were spilling sparks. Ceilings partially collapsed, blue coolant vapor hissing from ruptured lines. The massive core hung dark and silent now. Its surface scarred black from the plasma cutter, final glyphs still faintly glowing on its center. Maya coughed, pushing debris off her legs. Did we get it? Adrian knelt beside her, checking for injuries. Pulse stopped. Feeds went dark. Vance staggered upright from behind a fallen console. Face bloodied, the tablet was shattered. He grabbed an intact wall monitor, smearing blood across the screen as he keyed it live. Global fields crackled black. New York. Times Square was empty. Jaden is gone. No light columns, and the crowds are frozen mid-step, blinking confused. In Rio, Kosovo went silent. Lila vanished. Others stood dazed, looking around like they were waking from a dream. Mumbai, the harbor was still. Ravi was missing, and millions rubbing temples, bewildered. The counter was frozen. 5.4 billion affected. Extraction has halted. Maya exhaled shaky. We stopped it. Adrian helped her up, both leaning on each other, for now. Vance wiped blood from his eyes. His voice was rough. The network integrity was compromised. The orbital objects were retreating. The doomed skylight showed it, a geometric fading grid, a massive object shrinking against the horizon, withdrawing back to near space. Maya sagged against Adrian. It's over. Adrian shook his head slowly. It's over. But is it? She looked up, searching his face. What? Adrian stared at the scarred core. Glyphs pulsing faint but steady. This isn't new. Vance turned from the monitor. Explain yourself. Adrian paced through the debris, boots crunching on glass. The vision showed it. Last time, thousands standing under the two suns. The same position, the same choice. Reset or continue, Maya quickly said. Adrian nodded. They picked a reset. I came here, built the system, and tested it myself. Vance limped closer, studying the damaged core, and failed. Almost, Adrian said. Got close. Then the signal came again. Maya frowned. How many times? Adrian closed his eyes. Memories were bleeding through. 3, 4, I've lost count. Vance pulled seismic logs from the backup drive. Structures date at least 40,000 years old. Matches migration waves, ice age, civilizations rising and falling, unexplained. Maya's stomach turned. We keep doing it. We grow and then almost destroy, and then we reset. Adrian opened his eyes, haunted. The system isn't evacuated. Vance froze. Then what? Test, Adrian said flatly. Maya blinked. A test for what? Restraint, Adrian Vance said together. The chamber light flickered back to half power. Emergency systems were humming online. The core glyph shifted. New patterns were forming. Not departure coordinates. There was analytics. It was analyzing. Vance grabbed the nearest functioning console. It's scanning. Scanning what? Maya asked. Adrian stepped forward the core despite himself. Us. The glyph stabilized. Data streamed across its surface. Not alien script now. Human. Readable. Population graphs. Resource curves. Growth models. Earth's history has been rewritten. Cycle 1, 40,000 years BC, the rise and fall. Cycle 2, 12,000 BC, cities, collapse, reset. Cycle 3, 3,000 BC, summer, end, reset. Cycle 4, now. The current line flatlined. Growth stalled at 10.9 billion. Maya read over Adrian's shoulder, voice breaking. We passed? Adrian shook his head, tested. Vance cross-referenced core data against facility archives. It matches everything. Unexplained gaps, sudden text lapse, collective amnesia events. Adrian turned from the core. Face was pale. They didn't escape destruction. They escaped themselves. Maya grabbed his arm. Then why activate now? Adrian met her eyes. We were about to fail again. 11 billion. Resources collapsed in 2048. The system triggered early. Vance's voice came quiet. Your touch accelerated it, forced the decision point. Adrian laughed bitterly. Great, I broke human history? Maya squeezed his arm. You stopped it. The core glyphs pulsed once. Final message was forming. No command. Verdict. Green line arced upwards. Not departure, but with limits. Vance read it aloud. The population cap enforced. Growth was restricted. Expansion prohibited. The cycle was terminated. Maya exhaled sharply. It let us stay. Adrian stared at the glyph, pulled away completely now, with rules. The chamber fell quiet. No alarms, no tremors, just a steady hum of systems powering down. Vance limped to the skylight. Orbital objects nearly vanished now, the final grid line dissolving from the atmosphere. We passed, he said softly. Adrian looked at Maya. Org got probation? She managed a weak smile, better than expulsion. Core glyph faded to standby. First time in 40,000 years. Chapter 27, The Decision Point. The chamber felt eerily still after the chaos. Dust settled slowly through the emergency lights. The massive core hung quiet now. Its scared and scarred surface was dark except for the faint standby glyphs pulsing like a sleeping heartbeat. Shattered screens flickered intermediately, showing global feeds slowly coming back online. Dazed crowds blinking awake in Times Square, Rio, Mumbai. No light columns, no vanishings. Adrian stood closest to the core, staring at the verdict glyph. It let us stay. Maya wiped blood from a cut above her eye. Her voice was shaky but sharp, with a leash. Vance limped to the primary console, coaxing its cracked screen back to life. Population cap at 10.9 billion. Resource quotas. No space expansion. Violent parameters. System reactivates. Adrian turned slow like a cosmic parole. Maya paced through debris, kicking aside a falling tablet. We fought for this, trading free will for an alien speed limit. The facility-wide sparks and crackled. Surface teams are reporting in. They were confused, shaken, and remembering nothing past trance walking towards sites. There are 5.4 billion affected worldwide. No deaths, no disappearances past the first wave. Adrian rubbed his temples. Jaden, Maria, Ravi, they're really gone. Maya stopped pacing. You think the system took them first? First responders, Adrian said. Test subjects. Proved compliance before mass extraction. Vance pulled archive data cross-referencing. Historical patterns are matching. Each reset cycle starts with a vanguard group. The rest follow or wake. Maya's fists clench. And we stopped halfway? A new tremor hit. Not violent, but deliberate. Floor plates shifted beneath the core. Deep groaning echoed from bedrock levels below. Vance's console screamed seismic warnings. Secondary systems are powering up. Adrian spun towards the core. It's not done. Global feeds reignited on the backup screen. In New York, Jaden's empty subway grate pulsed faint blue. The crowds reforming nearby. Trance returning. In Rio, the Corvocado structure reignited. Lila left, but others knelt again. In Mumbai, Harbor's nexus glowed. Ravi missing. Millions walking back. Counter is climbing. 5.7 billion. Maya grabbed Adrian's arm. It's restarting. Vance slammed manual overrides. Containment fields are failing. Core is rewriting lockdown protocol. Adrian felt it. The pull returned. Subtle at first. Pressure from behind his eyes. Then it deepened. Test was incomplete. Continue. Not again, he growled, shaking his head violently. Maya pressed her hands to the temples. I feel it too, like confirmation. Vance yanked the emergency breaker. Sparks flew. Lights died completely. Backup red glow only. The pull has intensified anyway. Adrian staggered towards the core. It's not accepting the verdict. Vance tackled him back. Fight it! Global feeds showed acceleration. In Tokyo, Haru led schoolchildren back underground. In London, Ellie crossed the Thames again, barista apron trailing. L.A., the freeway's gridlock reformed. Millions are facing Griffith Nexus. 6.1 billions are synced. Maya screamed through the gritted teeth. We broke it. It has to stop. Core glyph shifted. Not green verdict now. Amber. It's reassessing. Adrian's vision blurred. The final memory layer hit. Thousands under the twin suns. No unity. It's fractured. Half chose to resist. Other half chose to continue. Pool clarification. Choose now. Individually. Adrian blinked hard. It's splitting us. Vance frowned. What? Last time, Adrian gasped. We not all agreed. The system let both sides go. Maya fought her own pool. Go where? Here and elsewhere. The core split down the center. Physically fractured. Two glyphs are forming side by side. On the left, Earth, a single sun, growth capped, to stay. On the right, twin sun, endless pathways to continue. Vance stared, binary choice. The global counter split, 2.8 billion left, 2.9 billion right. New York split, half Jaden subway, half dispersing confused. Rio is divided. Concavado versus fleeing downhill. Mumbai, fracture, harbor versus streets. Adrian felt both pools were equal now. Stay equals safety. Continue equals potential. Maya grabbed his face. Adrian, us. He searched her eyes. What if one's better? Then we both pick, said the fiercely. Together. Vance watched the screens. 3.1 billion to the right are overtaking. Core tethers strained. Left glyph they're dimming. Adrian felt it. Majority is tipping the scales. System is forcing outcome by votes. We need to choose, he said. Maya nodded. Which? Adrian closed his eyes. The pools warned internally. Stay on the rooftop nights. Messy humans, finite. Continue, two suns. Potential is unlimited, unknown. 3.4 billion to the right. Core tilted toward the continuation glyph. Adrian opened his eyes. Maya, stay, she whispered, with me. He grabbed her hand. You sure? She nodded once, terrified but certain. The only sure thing I have. Adrian turned to the core, stepped to the left of the glyph, pressed both palms flat. Left brightened, right dimmed. Global counter flipped, 3.7 billion left. Vance exhaled sharply. It's responding! Tokyo crowd split, then reversed. Haru turned back. London Bridge emptied towards the streets. LA freeways were unclogging. 4.2 billion left and gaining. Core shuddered. Teachers snapped. Tethered. Right glyph. Extinguished. Left stabilized. The single sun symbol burning steady. Pull vanished worldwide. Silence fell. Adrian sagged against Maya. We chose. She held him tight. We stayed. Vance checked the feeds. 5.4 billion were waking. The right path closed. The core powered down completely for the first time in 40,000 years. Chapter 28, the final choice. The room was still. Not the kind of still that felt peaceful, the kind that made Maya's skin prickle. The lights inside the chamber glowed softly against the walls, and the great structure in the center of the room hummed like it was alive. Adrian stood beside the console, his hand hovering over the controls, his eyes fixed on the display in front of him. Maya looked from him to Vance. You're sure this is it? She asked. Vance gave a slow nod. This is the final link. Maya folded her arms. You keep saying that like it's supposed to make us feel better. It's not meant to, Vance said. It's meant to prepare you. Adrian frowned at the screen. Prepare us for what? Vance hesitated, and for the first time since Maya had ever met him, he looked uncertain. For what comes next, he said. The answer made the room feel colder. Maya stepped closer to the center platform. The surface beneath her feet was smooth and dark, almost like a polished stone. But when she looked down, faint lines of light moved under it like something was flowing beneath the floor. She swallowed hard. What happens if we do this? Vance's voice was quiet. Then the structure completes the pattern. And if we don't? Adrian asked. Vance looked at him for a long second. Then we may never know what this was meant for. Maya glanced at Adrian. He already had that look on his face. The one that meant he was done waiting, done wondering, done standing still. She knew that look. It usually led to trouble. So basically, Maya said, we either press the button and risk something huge or walk away and never get answers. Vance didn't deny that. Adrian looked down at the notebook in his hand. The pages were filled with sketches, symbols, and star maps. His grandfather's handwriting curved across the paper in neat, careful lines as if he had known all along that one day someone would have to finish what he started. Maya noticed his grip tighten. You okay? She asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, my grandfather didn't hide this for nothing. Maya looked at him. You think this is what he was trying to lead you to? I think, Adrian said slowly. He wanted someone to decide. The hum beneath them deepened. A soft pulse ran through the structure, and the light in the walls brightened for just a second. Maya took a breath and looked at the console again. There was one symbol on it that stood out from the rest. It matched the markings in Adrian's notebook. The same shape, the same line pattern. It felt like a button and more like answers. Or a warning. She turned to Vance. If we do this, can you stop it from, something goes wrong? Vance didn't answer fast enough. That was answer enough. Maya exhaled through her nose. Great, love that for us. Adrian almost smiled, but it faded quickly. The silence stretched again, and all three of them looked at the structure in the center of the room. It had brought them this far. It had shown them things they never should have seen. It had opened doors in their mind that could not be closed. Now it was waiting for them to choose. Maya stepped back and crossed her arms. I'm saying this now so nobody can pretend I wasn't honest. I do not like this. Adrian nodded. Same. Vance gave a small, tired nod. Neither do I. That surprised her. For the first time, he didn't sound like a scientist giving a lecture. He sounded like a man standing at the edge of something too big to understand. Maya looked at him closely. Then why are you still here? Vance's expression changed just a little. Because I think this has been waiting for a very long time. The words settled over the room. Adrian lifted his head. Waiting for who? Vance gazed, moved to him. For you. The room seemed to tilt. Maya looked sharply at Adrian and then back at Vance. What does that mean? Vance didn't look away. I think the structure recognizes him. Adrian stared at him. Recognizes me how? Your bloodline, Vance said. Your memory response. The way the signals react when you're near the core. Maya's stomach tightened. You knew that? I suspected it, Vance admitted. Now I'm sure of it. Adrian's jaw set. You should have said something. I wanted to be certain before I put weight on you. You already did, Maya snapped. No one argued with that. Adrian looked down at the notebook again, then at the glowing console. His face was calm, but Maya could tell he was thinking hard, really hard. She had seen him like this before, the stillness before he made a decision that would change everything. Finally, he said, if this is connected to us, then we don't get to walk away. Maya stared at him. Adrian! He looked at her. We came this far. We saw the dreams. We saw the signal, the map. All of it keeps pointing to here. That doesn't mean we have to press the creepy alien button. Maybe it does. She shook her head. You are way too calm about this. I am not calm, he said. I'm just not pretending this isn't happening. That hit harder than expected, because he was right. The fear was still there. So was the doubt. But under it was something else now, something stronger, curiosity, and maybe something older than curiosity. The room pulsed again. This time, the light from the center of the structure spread outward in a thin ring, reaching the edge of the platform at their feet. Maya felt it in her chest, a pull, the same pull she had felt in her dreams. Adrian noticed it too. His eyes widened slightly. You feel that? He said. Maya swallowed. Yeah. Vance looked between them. It's responding. The light grew brighter. Symbols across the floor lit up one by one, forming a path towards the center. Maya's breath was caught. It wants us to go in there. Not us, Vance said. You. She stared at him. Oh, that's even better. Adrian glanced at her and then back at the glowing path. Maya! She could hear the question in his voice, even though he didn't say it. Are you going to do it? She looked at the center of the room, at the light, at the pattern, at everything waiting on the other side of the choice. Then she looked at Adrian, and in that moment, she understood something she hasn't understood before. This wasn't just about structure. It wasn't just about the signal. It was about who they were. And when the truth finally stood in front of them, Maya took one slow breath, then another, and stepped forward. The light beneath her feet flared softly as she walked. Adrian moved beside her, not ahead of her, beside her. Vance watched them from the edge of the room. His face was unreadable. The path of light led them to the center platform, where the console waited when its glowing symbol. Maya reached out first, then stopped. Her hand hovered over it. One last chance to step back. One last chance to say no. She turned to Adrian. Are you ready? He looked at the console, then at her. No, he said honestly. Maya let out a shaky breath that almost turned into a laugh. Good. Me either. Then she placed her hand on the symbol. The console reacted at once. A bright light shot through the room, and the entire structure answered with a deep, rising hum. The floor trembled. The walls lit up, and somewhere deep beneath them, something long asleep began to awake. Maya jerked back. Her heart was pounding. What did you just do? Vance asked. Maya stared at the glowing console. Her voice came out barely above a whisper. I think we just started something. Adrian's face had gone pale. On the screen in front of them, new symbols were appearing fast, faster than Maya could read them. Then one line stopped her cold. A single word. Keyed. Adrian stepped closer. His eyes were locked on the display. Another line flashed beneath it. Transmission active. Maya's stomach dropped. What transmission? She asked. No one answered because now the room was changing. Chapter 29, The Silence. The chamber settled into an uneasy quiet. Dust motes drifted through fractured emergency lights, settling slowly across twisted metal and shattered screens. The massive core loomed dark and silent now, its scattered surface cooling from white hot to dull matte black. A single sun glyph faded to barely visible in a standby pulse. Somewhere deep in the bedrock, the final conduit groans echoed into silence. Adrian slumped against a buckled console. Breathing was ragged, his hands still trembling from the plasma cutter strain. Maya sat beside him, back against cold metal, one arm wrapped around her scraped knees. Blood trickled slowly from the cut above her eye, mixing with sweat and streaking dirt. Vance knelt nearby, prying open a damaged wall panel for backup power diagnostics. No alarms, no tremors, just their breathing and distant drip of melting coolant. Did we actually stop it? Maya finally asked. Her voice was hoarse. Adrian nodded towards the skyline dome overhead, cracked but intact. Stars shone clear again. The orbital grid was completely gone. Dawn light crept pink along the eastern horizon, the single sun rising normally. Yeah, Vance grunted, coaxing the flickering terminal alive, backup feeds crackling through the static. New York City, Times Square. Jaden's skateboard crew blinked awake mid-graffiti, spray cans clattering to the concrete. Crowds rubbed temples confused, looking around at the empty streets like survivals of a collective blackout. In Rio, holdouts stood shaky from kneeling hours, helping each other down mountain paths. No Lila. Faint blue scars marked bedrock where a light column took her. In Mumbai, Ravi's engineering friends stared at their wrists. 2 sun tattoos burn into their skin, fading slowly. Harbor Nexus was dark. Sand coverings reopened the fissure. Global counter, 5.4 billion affected. 0 active extractions. Maya exhaled sharply, shaky, but laughter was escaping her. We broke an alien reset system? Adrian managed a weak smile. With a plasma cutter and bad decisions, yes. Vance's terminal beeped. Facility-wide status was green. Network integrity is 0. The orbital object retreated to Lagrange point, monitoring only. Adrian pushed upright, wincing at his burned palms. Why? Vance met his eyes steady. Because you passed. Maya frowned, wiping blood from her cheek. Past what? We almost got everyone stuck into space. Vance tapped the final core data dump onto the cracked screen. The verdict glyph analyzes. Cycle 1-3 failed. Reset. Executed. Cycle 4. Intervention at 87% compliance threshold. Manual override by the Nexus nod. Adrian. Secondary choice ratified by majority. 5.4 billion stay versus 0 continue. A system built for automation, Vance said. You forced a manual decision. Tipped the scales personally. Adrian stared at the data. I was just trying not to die. Maya stood behind him, studying the numbers. 5.4 billion. That's everyone who felt the pull. Vance nodded. First responders are gone. The rest woke. The test was incomplete but sufficient. Gone where? Maya asked quietly. Adrian touched his temple. Faint twin suns aftermesh burned behind his eyes. Test worlds, first wave of the new cycle. Vance closed the terminal. They're the seed, a clean slate, no Earth memories. Maya's fists clenched. And we're the rejects? Survivors, Adrian corrected her softly. Facility speakers crackled. The surface teams are reporting in. Voices are dazed. Control, this is Alpha Team. Site's dark. The crowds are waking. There are no hostiles. Medical requests all personnel to the surface. Mass disorientation reports. The surface is clear. The object retreated. We are standing down. Vance keyed response. Copy all. Secure the perimeter. Full diagnostic in 30. He killed comms, looking between them. The worlds were waking up. No memory past the pool. Just a feeling. Adrian paced slowly through the debris. Her boots were crunching glass. They won't remember Jaden, Maria, or the columns. Maya shook her head. Or us. Rooftop? Telescope? Signal? Adrian stopped, meeting her eye. They will. Just not how. Vance limped towards the exit. The media hitting soon. Global trance event. No explanation. The conspiracy theories will be out by lunch. Maya grabbed Adrian's hand. Well, what do we do? What do we tell them? He squeezed back. With truth. Well, parts of it. Vance paused at the door. The facility's compromised. They'll come for the data. They'll come for the records. And they'll come for us. Adrian nodded. Let them. Maya frowned. You want to tell the world? No. Adrian looked at the darkened core. But someone has to remember. Vance pushed the door open. Desert air rushed in. It was clean, cold, and the first light touching the horizon. You two already do. They stepped out together. Surface teams were moving through the dazed crowds beyond the perimeter fence, offering water, blankets, and quiet reassurances. No panic, just confusion and relief. Adrian scanned the faces. Normal again. Humans. Messy. Maya leaned against him. We stayed. He wrapped his arms around her shoulders. Yeah. A single sun was cresting on the horizon. No twins, no pathways, just Earth. Past. Chapter 30. The Sky Above. 3 weeks later, rooftop. The city hummed below, alive again. Streets light glowed steadily. Cars crawled through familiar gridlock. Distant laughter carried on. Normal sounds reclaimed the night. There were no alarms, no orbital grids painting the atmosphere, just Earth breathing, as it always had. Adrian sat on the ledge where it all began, a telescope packed carefully behind him. The faded no-access sign hung crooked on the stairwell wall behind him, its warning ignored one last time. Footsteps approached. Maya climbed through, carrying 2 steaming paper cups. She handed him one, black coffee, no sugar, exactly how he took it. Her hair was pulled back, messy. Faint scars still pink above her eyebrow from the chamber glass. She looked tired, humans and beautiful. Last night up here, she asked, settling behind him. Adrian nodded, staring at the steam rising from the cup. Feels wrong leaving it dark. She followed his gaze to the packed telescope. Can't look anymore? He took a slow sip of coffee. It was bitter on his tongue. Can, but won't. Quiet stretched between them, comfortable but heavy. The city sounds filled the space below. Honks, distant music, light refusing to remember. Maya leaned back on her hands. The world's already forgotten. He knew. News cycles are churning through global trance event, mass fainting spells, shared hallucinations, miracles of no deaths. Scientists are baffled. Governments, of course, are silent. Conspiracy theorists' boards lit up with faded. Jaden, Mariah, Ravi became footnotes in missing person debates. The Joe Rogan podcast blew up with tinfoil theories. 5.4 billion felt it, Adrian said quietly. Only 3 remember. Maya turned her cup between her palms. Vance? Destroyed the facility data. I walked away clean. Adrian's drawl tightened. Smartest of us. She studied his profile. You think it worked? Adrian looked up. Stars burned clear. No orbital watchers, no geometric grids. The Milky Way arced in a familiar overhead spot. The system accepted the vote, left the path locked in. Maya followed his gaze. One sun, he said softly. Yeah. Wind picked up, carrying desert chill. She still shivered a little bit. Adrian noticed but didn't move closer. Not yet. Do you regret it? She asked. He didn't answer immediately, turned his cup in his hand. Every day. Her breath caught. Adrian. Not you, he said quickly, meeting her eyes. The cost. 5.4 billion woke. First responders didn't. Perfect worlds waiting are empty. Human potential is capped forever. Maya nodded slowly. Jaden's crew spray-painted its board. Left it by the gate. Adrian exhaled sharply. That's nice. It's quiet again. Stars watched. She shifted closer, shoulder touching him. What now? He finally draped her arm over him. She leaned in. Live small, prove it worked. City lights glittered below. A car horn blared impatiently. Somewhere in the distance, someone laughed way too loud. Maya tilted her head back. Think they'll come back? Adrian followed her gaze upward. Stars are steady, endless, and silent. Maybe, he said softly, but not today. Dawn crept pink along the skyline. A single sun touched the horizon. No twins appeared. No pathway opened. Just light. It was ordinary. Hard won. Adrian squeezed her shoulder. we stayed. Maya turned into him, forehead against his neck. Yeah. They sat there as the sun rose, two silhouettes against the vast sky. Telescope dark beside them, the city was waking up below them. They passed, barely, humans. We look up at the stars and wonder what's out there, never realizing we chose to stay. Thank you for making it this far into the audiobook. It's my first one, and I've had a blast doing it. Don't know if there will be more down the line, but I do appreciate everyone who has taken the time to read all 30 chapters of this. Thank you to who made it possible, and thanks for listening to my stumbling voice read through my own words. Until next time.